Sean's back. Hello, Sean.
Hi, Sean.
Hello, hello.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
No.
Hi, hello, Sean.
Just stop this recording. Right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's good to see everybody here tonight, as usual. And we are going to go into another section of Jim McAfee's book. And tonight we're covering a big area, and that is the skin. And in fact, it's such a big area, I'm going to have to do it in two parts. So I'm going to share my screen and pull up my PowerPoint. And right, can everybody see that? My screen being shared? Yes, no? Okay, I'll take that as a yes. Can't see too many people over here. I'm going to shrink myself down there. And okay, we are using your body's sign language. Tonight we're covering our birthday suit. Everybody talks about our birthday suit. Some birthday suits are a little bit more in need of an iron than others. The skin is the largest organ of elimination in our body. So the skin is not just there to make you look pretty, it actually has a function. The skin has remarkable elasticity. And as we age, not only the skin elasticity changes, but we also lose flexibility in other tissues. So you often hear people complaining that, oh, yeah, I've got these creaking joints and I'm so stiff in the morning. Well, that's what's happening in your skin as well. Looking at the importance of cellular nutrition can provide a better understanding of the significance of skin nutrition. Remembering, our body is made up of trillions of cells, and every part of the body is a cell, including the skin. So if your cells aren't healthy, neither is your skin. We all know this infamous little picture over here of what the unhealthy cell looks like as well as the healthy cell. And an excess of artificial or altered fats in the cell membrane causes a loss of water and therefore dehydration. So people are eating a lot of fast foods and fried stuff with whatever these funny oils are that you get these days. That is what is leading to a lot of problems. And this, in my opinion, is why a lot of young people are looking old before their time. High quality oils and antioxidants protect and build a healthy cell wall and thereby prevent dehydration while permitting absorption of essential nutrients and efficient waste elimination. Exactly the same as our cell picture that we know so well from the tree and N. The skin operates much the same as the cell wall. So again, look at the picture. You can see if your cell wall is healthy, it's permeable, it's fluid, nutrients can get in, your body can, or your cell can utilize what it needs, and it can get rid of the waste products. If not, it's a little bit like climbing into the shower wearing a raincoat. You're probably going to get a little bit wet, but you're not going to get anywhere close to what you need to do. The rate at which the skin ages can be slowed by taking measures to assure continuous, adequate antioxidants. So we don't need to attend these spas and beauty places to slow aging. We can do it through nutrition. Skin condition reflects the adequacy of intake of fats and proteins, as well as antioxidants to protect the tissues. We're going to hear a lot about antioxidants tonight. So some of the little signs that we see on the body, the first one that we talk about is little bumps on the skin. And this is a thickening of skin. It's almost like goosebumps, but it's a goosebump that's gone hard, for want of any better definition. And the really fancy terminology for that is hyperkeratosis follicularis. Jim McAfee likes to stress that one, and it sounds quite fun, but yeah, it's not really anything major. It's just a thickening of the skin around the hair follicle. And it looks a little bit like that. So if you can imagine goosebumps that have now gone hard, and I do believe that a lot of near-life distributors who are taking the products religiously will be very unfamiliar with this problem because we just don't see it if our nutrition is good. These bumps are associated with deficiencies in vitamins A, C, zinc, and essential fatty acids, and could be a diabetic risk factor, because if you're missing some of these nutrients, you are opening yourself up to diabetes. Vitamin A is the most important nutrient for removing the hardened bumps around hair follicles, and you'll find vitamin A in a lot of our skincare products as well. Pregnant women are advised not to consume large amounts of vitamin A due to the powerful effect it has on developing cells. So please, if somebody is pregnant or planning on falling pregnant, warn them about having too much vitamin A and D. Bumps on the extremities are frequent on the skin of diabetics. And there's actually quite a few signs that we can pick up of somebody who is diabetic. And I find it quite fun and interesting to study people without them knowing it. And once you're aware of these things, it's quite intriguing how your eye is drawn to these various signs and symptoms that you see on a fairly regular basis. Diabetics cannot convert carotenoids to vitamin A. And this is why, if a diabetic is taking carotenoid complex, they do need to add in vitamin A and D from time to time. Zinc is necessary for removal of vitamin A from liver storage and its delivery to the tissues. In other words, if you're taking vitamin A and D, you also need to be taking zinc. And we know that zinc is very good for things like acne, etc. Zinc is also essential for the regulation of blood sugar and therefore very good for diabetics. Vitamin C deficiency can produce a condition of the hair follicle similar to inadequate vitamin A and is therefore an early sign of vitamin C deficiency. And what is the end result of vitamin C deficiency? Scurvy. So some suggestions: supplement with vitamin A and D. We know what our vitamin A and D looks like. Vitamins C, B complex, zinc, and essential fatty acids such as found in salmon oil and wheat germ oil may also be helpful. And as you know, we've got two forms of the vitamin C and vitamin B, which thank goodness is now back in stock, because as we learned on Sunday night, vitamin B has a lot of very good uses. And then zinc. Zinc is obviously very good for people with acne, but also other skin conditions. And then salmon oil has its own anti-inflammatory properties and is very good for all sorts of different things, not just the skin. So the butterfly rash is a butterfly-shaped rash over the bridge of the nose and covers the cheeks. And I've seen that in my eldest daughter at times as well, before she decided to start using Pro-Vitality. It looks something like this. It can be quite mild, or it can be quite almost glow in the dark, vicious, for want of any better terminology to use. This sign is a characteristic of lupus, known as the full name for lupus is lupus erythematosus. It's a big fancy word, but lupus purely means wolf-like, and erythematosus it's a reddening and an inflammation. And this is a serious autoimmune disorder, so one needs to be checked out carefully. Very, very difficult to control. And autoimmune disorders also include things like your rheumatoid arthritis. Lupus could be a sign of serious allergy to foods, and it's not a hopeless diagnosis. So a lot of people suffer quite dramatically with lupus, but it's not the end of the road. Omega-3 oils provide a tremendous benefit in many inflammatory and autoimmune and food allergy situations. Remembering, omega-3 is anti-inflammatory. There is always a reason behind an autoimmune condition. These include hormone imbalances. I think that was the problem in my daughter. Pardon me. Overgrowth of bacteria, heavy metal poisoning, and that you can find from things like fillings in your mouth that contain mercury amongst other things, because if you've had fillings for many years, those early fillings have got a lot of heavy metal in them and could be slowly poisoning you. And then high blood sugar levels and low-grade viral infections or food allergies. So this is what makes it so very difficult to diagnose the cause of a problem. And when you go to your doctor, he essentially has to work out what the problem isn't before he can work out what the problem is. 90% of lupus sufferers are women, quite probably because of the hormones. The immune system tends to become overactive when the system is overloaded with estrogen or omega-6 fats. Omega-6 is obviously found in all of your junk fats, and technically TRNN is an omega-6, but it is a slightly different format of omega-6. Malnutrition or excess sugar intake can turn the immune system off. Remembering, your immune system works pretty similarly to a light switch. You can turn it on and turn it off. And what happens with an autoimmune disorder is that the light switch is turned on and doesn't get turned off. And that's where the problems start. So the suggestions: avoid gluten and other allergy-causing foods. As we know, there's a lot of food allergies these days, so it's always a good idea to be checked by your doctor to work out what is causing the allergy. Avoid refined sugar. This is a recurring suggestion for a lot of conditions in the body, and it's quite scary to know how many problems are caused by sugar. We need to balance the hormone chemistry and eliminate estrogen dominance, and minimize heavy metal exposure. As I said, not just from fillings, but also people who live next to highways will be exposed to a lot of lead, and people who live near garages, similar sort of things to that. And some people just happen to be in work environments where there is a lot of heavy metal, which is unfortunate, but they then need to take precautions. We need to supplement with omega-3 oils and grain and legume extracts, which we know as TRNN. As you know, we've got all 8 of the omegas, and then we need to supplement with antioxidants and other essential nutrients. So that would mean your multivitamins, minerals, etc. And there's your other antioxidants, which is your vitamin E. So TRNN is your grain oils, and your antioxidants in this particular case would be your wheat germ or vitamin E. Calluses, which are hardening or thickening of the skin under the feet or other parts of the body. So people who do a lot of hard manual labor will often have calluses on their hands. I see a lot of calluses under the feet of my patients because people come to me with foot problems. And one of the first things I look at is the callus formation on their feet, because that tells me a huge amount of information. It tells me how they're walking, where their shoes are rubbing, and a lot of other things that I don't have time to get into right now. But I actually use calluses almost as a diagnostic tool. And this would be the sort of thing that one would see where you can see calluses under the bridge of the foot, under the head of the big toe, on the side of the toes, on the top of the toes, that sort of thing. And some of them can be quite hideous, but they all tell me a story. Calluses may indicate deficiencies in vitamins B3 or vitamin A. Calluses develop in response to repeated pressure on the skin, and that is where I pick up this the callus formations, because it's people who are on their feet a lot. Diabetics often have these sort of issues, and if they're wearing the wrong sort of shoes and they're spending a lot of time on their feet, you will develop calluses as well. So that's where I look at it. But if you look at people who play guitar, the tips of their fingers are often very thick with callus. People who do a lot of writing, parts of the finger will thicken up, and typists, probably keyboardists as well, will often have thick callus underneath their fingers. Callus thickness varies both with frequency and strength of the stimulus, as well as with nutritional intake. Vitamins A and B3 deficiencies can cause skin to thicken uncomfortably, especially under the feet, where they often splinter and form needle-like pieces of skin. And those things can penetrate the skin, sort of like a thorn, and cause more problems as well. But those calluses, I often say, are like an iceberg. What you see is only about 1/3 of what is actually there. So the callus that's coming through under the sole of your foot, often you'll find there's a lot more callus on the inside of the foot as well, which causes pain. Suggestions: massage an aloe ointment into the skin, and this could be plain aloe vera gel or an aqueous cream with aloe vera in it as well. And my favorite product, of course, being the aloe, because it has so many uses. We need to supplement with preformed vitamin A and D, or overseas, this is known as cod liver oil, and then essential fatty acids. Again, you'll see quite a few repeats of these things as I go through, so I'm just going to flash up some of the pictures over here. And again, supplement with vitamin B. As we know, vitamin B is water soluble, so it does flush out of the system quite quickly and easily, and therefore needs to be taken regularly. Pardon me. Contact dermatitis, and this would also be known as eczema. The skin breaks out with blisters or cracks after physical contact with some substance. And at one stage, I had a massive issue on my hand with a contact dermatitis. And in fact, I have an insurance policy where that is stated that should I be retrenched because of the dermatitis on my hand, I will not be covered. There's my hand, no more contact dermatitis, despite the fact that I'm still working with the glue and rubbers, which is what triggers it at times. But I've also found out that stress, heat, and a couple of other factors put together at the same time can also trigger that eczema or contact dermatitis. And some of the dermatitis looks a little bit like this. So it's very red, tiny little blistery things all over the skin. This picture is around the neck area. One can get it on the hands, the arms, in the creases of the elbows, etc. And this is the result of an allergic response or toxic exposure. My one niece is allergic to a shopping list load of foods and dust and all sorts of funny things. And when she was much smaller, which is still in nappies, in fact, her dermatitis was so bad that she would scratch herself to bleeding every night until they could figure out what the cause was. Skin can also react to almost anything, including metals. Nickel is a common initiator of skin problems. Ear piercing with nickel-plated ear pins can sensitize the body. So if you have a pierced ear that is nickel, and you then touch some sort of other metal which would possibly not have affected you otherwise, your body could be hypersensitized and then show an allergy reaction. Interestingly, nickel combined with bromide and fumaric acid can result in dramatic improvement for psoriasis. I have no idea why. Psoriasis is quite a bad form of dermatitis. Some materials that can trigger dermatitis include foods, and these specifically are sugar, alcohol, and refined foods. Medical gloves, and a lot of medical gloves are now going hypoallergenic. Tattoos, and these include your henna tattoos. Sunscreen lotion, tea tree oil, to which my mother has a problem, and corticosteroids. Other irritants include foods, chemicals such as toothpaste, detergents, and flavorings. If in doubt, speak to your doctor regarding doing an advanced allergy test. This includes blood tests as well as skin tests and can be quite painful, but very enlightening. Some suggestions. So there's some of the things that one can be allergic to. Consume a diet rich in quality oils and antioxidants to build healthy skin more resistant to allergic response. In other words, boost your immune system. Try to identify any substance that irritates the skin and logically avoid it. Unfortunately, it's not always avoidable. Fluid retention, otherwise known as edema. Fluid retention you'll see under the skin, most notable under the eyes or in and around the ankles. Again, something I see quite regularly in my practice when people come to me for compression stockings. And this could be caused by many factors, including kidney damage. Swelling of the legs and ankles is a common characteristic of inadequate intake of vitamin B1, otherwise known as thiamine. B1 is necessary for proper metabolism of carbohydrates and production of energy in the body. So this is why people like to have a vitamin B injection, because they say it gives them a boost of energy. Unfortunately, it's usually the wrong kind of vitamin B. Thiamine deficiency is otherwise known as beriberi. This was a common problem in World War II amongst the prisoners of war. You get two different types. Dry beriberi is characterized, so I better move my butt because I'm running out of time, is characterized by nerve damage, resulting in fatigue, numbness, paralysis, or leg weakness. And the way to check that is difficulty to rise from a squat. Wet beriberi manifests as damage to the circulatory system with symptoms including fluid retention, heart palpitations, heavy and weak feelings in the limbs, chest pain, or a rapid and irregular heartbeat. Mild thiamine deficiency is common in alcoholics and heavy caffeine drinkers. So your coffee pots, better be careful. Fluid retention can also result from kidney damage, as found in diabetes, and heavy metal poisoning. Suggestions: determine if an allergy is the cause of your fluid retention. And this is what I like to do. I always like to find out what the cause of the problem is. Mercury, cadmium, and lead can damage kidney function. We need to supplement with trace minerals. Multi-mineral plus alfalfa is the one, and quality protein. And we know what our quality protein is. And try a natural vitamin B complex. B1 and B6 are the most important, but take a B complex and your body can utilize exactly what it needs when it needs it. Heavily pigmented skin is darkening of the skin or retaining a tan longer than normal. Pigmentation often begins on the back of the hands. Prolonged retention of a suntan can indicate vitamin B or niacin deficiency. And this is different to a carotenoid buildup, which provides a healthy glow. Darkening of the skin results from photosensitivity and occurs only in areas exposed to sunlight. We know that as suntanning, but this could also be a problem. Sometimes the skin will take on a tanned appearance on non-exposed skin areas, and this is usually caused by an accumulation of carotenoids in the fat of the skin. A simple carotenoid test: squeeze your hand into a fist, release it suddenly, see if there's a slight orange or yellow tinge on the palm of your hand. Now this, be careful, because some lighting will give you a bit of an orangey glow on your hands anyway. Rather do it in daylight. A pasty white color is bad and is an indication of lack of carotenoids, and increased risk of oxidative diseases, which can include cancer. Length of life has been linked to carotenoid and vitamin E levels in the blood. And yellow skin, otherwise known as bilirubin, results from liver damage or inability to remove bilirubin from the body. We know this as yellow jaundice, which is a bit of a misnomer because jaundice means yellow, and you'll often see yellowing in the white of the eye as well. Suggestions: obtain adequate carotenoids in the diet to give the skin a slight tanned appearance. And we know the best carotenoids, as well as Betagard. And see a doctor if jaundice develops, because there is a problem. And then supplement with vitamin B complex. I'm going to push this a little bit. Old age pigmentation or age spots or liver spots. Fortunately, nobody's old in this Zoom call tonight. These brown spots are caused by free radical damage to structures within the cells and waste accumulation. Age pigments are particularly abundant in fatty tissues such as the skin, and cell function is hindered by waste accumulation, which is why it is so important to get your cells healthy. Free radical production in the body accelerates with age, leading to old age pigments. Pigments produced by these free radicals have the potential to kill cells by interfering with normal function and can then become cancerous. A nerve cell, for instance, can accumulate up to 70% of its volume as age pigment before the cell dies. These pigments can build up in both skin and the brain, where you can't see them, where they interfere with brain function, leading to mental deterioration. Accumulation of skin pigment can therefore be a clue to brain issues. Who knew? Vitamin E and acetyl L-carnitine have been shown to help prevent accumulation of aging pigments, as well as slowing the road to senility, which is why we are all sharp young people on this call. Buildup of one form of pigment called ceroid has been associated with selenium deficiency. Supplementing with other antioxidants, especially fat-soluble ones, help prevent aging spots. Diabetics are especially prone to accumulation of aging pigments. Free radical production increases dramatically with high blood sugar, and reduced vitamin E speeds the development of aged pigments. So please make sure that your vitamin E levels are kept up to date. Both elevated blood sugar and obesity decrease your vitamin E levels. Diabetics often notice improvement when supplementing with fat-soluble antioxidants, including vitamins E, D, and A. Vitamin D is also a powerful antioxidant. Suggestions: obvious one, avoid junk fats, sugar, and stale foods. Eat a diet rich in antioxidants. And those are some of the foods that one can utilize for the antioxidants. Reduce elevated blood sugar levels, and that you can use with Botanical Balance. And supplement with antioxidants, including vitamins A, C, D, E, selenium, and carotenoids, which you'll find obviously in the Fighter Defense Pack. And right, premature wrinkling. This means wrinkling earlier than expected. Wrinkling is caused by oxidative damage to the skin and deterioration of connective tissue. Smoking, drinking, and excessive exposure to ultraviolet light can prematurely age the skin by causing wrinkling, age spots, and loss of elasticity. So all these young ladies who spend copious amounts of time tanning are in for a lot of trouble later on. A healthy pink color of the skin is due to good blood circulation under the skin surface. Less blood flow leads to yellow and sallow-looking skin. A history of more than 50,000 hours of sun exposure increases wrinkling risk 3-fold. Both smokers and sunbathers should supplement with a wide range of antioxidants, including vitamins A, C, E, and the carotenoids. Diets high in vegetables, legumes, olive oil, and fish, your traditional Mediterranean diet, you'll see coming through in that one, helps to reduce wrinkling. Diets high in meat, dairy, and butter increase wrinkling. Suggestions: avoid excessive time in the sun and severe sunburn. Do not smoke. Eat a diet high in antioxidants and quality oils. And there are some of your antioxidant foods. And supplement with antioxidants, because if you're not getting those foods, you need to get it in a supplement form. And that is the end of my presentation tonight. So I made it with just a little bit of time to spare. Right, we've got about a minute.
Thank you very much.
Anybody's got any questions?
Why am
That
I
was-
now suddenly seeing everybody and not seeing Sean? What's happening?
I'm
Are
here,
you all the same or is it just me?
just you.
Oh, okay. I've done something stupid. What do I
No.
do?
No, I'm
Oh.
not too sure why it does it, but
Flick your
I can see
screen.
everybody else.
Flick your screen, Dom. Flick
Yeah.
it to the left. Flick your screen to the left.
What do you mean? Flick it how? Oh, as in, oh, yeah, no, okay.
Yeah.